Gacha. You might not heard of it. Or maybe you've heard of it. Gacha is a foreign concept, an alien thing to most of us. It is not until September of 2020, with the release of Genshin Impact, that the concept started to be well known globally. Yet people would still turn away from this concept. Many people turn away from Genshin Impact because of the sole concept. One word was uttered to describe what gacha is to people, which haunts the concept itself. That gacha is gambling. Hence, gacha is bad. But what exactly is gacha? Gacha. The word derives from the word gashapon. It is a type of vending machine found in every inch of Japan. It is also an onomatopoeia. Gasha, meaning the sound of the machine turning, and pon, the sound of the price that comes out, sort of like a fanfare of the price. Instead of picking your own items, gashapon uses a term pull or draw to make an attempt, and it randomizes the item that comes out, contrary to traditional vending machines. It randomizes within a certain pool of rewards, and the outcome is not guaranteed. The word gacha is implemented instead of the original gashapon to simplify things in the gaming sphere. However, the name change did not change the concept for the better. In fact, it didn't have an actual change in the system, but it expands as it is computerized. Gacha games. Games like Granblue Fantasy, Fate Grand Order, Arknights, Honkai Impact, and Genshin Impact are gacha games. But what exactly makes them a gacha game? Inside the menu of a gacha game lies a peculiar button, which is named either gacha, draw, pull, or other words along those lines. Upon entering that menu, it leads to a page that lets you pull for playable characters, similar to the original gashapon concept. But as mentioned before, the gacha is not changed but expanded. There's a new rarity system introduced in gacha games as well, with the higher rarity being the grand prize and of course, lower rate of outcome. In addition, there's also a banner rate up system that rates up a certain item, typically new additions to the game. With these systems, gacha is essentially a gambling machine, since there's no guarantee for the outcome. There's no arguing that gacha is gambling, hence people hate gacha. Gacha is bad. However, these aspects of the gacha are just what it seems in the surface. Most gacha games today will provide features into their games that arguably alleviate how bad the gacha is, to the extent that gacha games can be played without spending any money. To start, we'll take Genshin Impact as an example. Genshin Impact is an open-world action-adventure RPG. Many would dub it the Breath of the Wild clone, as it has several strikingly similar gameplay mechanics. As an open-world game, exploration is a key feature to the game, as it rewards you with treasure chests and droppable loot from the enemies. This would contain weapons, materials, and most importantly, primogems, a currency to pull on the gacha. That's right, you are rewarded as you play, and real-life money is not the sole resource to pull on the gacha. Periodical events will also come and go, which will reward you additional currency for gacha pulling. With this, you can pull on the gacha without spending any money. To talk about gacha in gacha games, it is unavoidable to mention the actual percentage rate of getting specific items from the gacha. Taking Genshin Impact again as an example, 5-star rarity items, which are the highest rarity items in the game, have the probability of 0.6% for you to get it. These chances are extremely low even for gacha games in general. However, upon further inspection of the gacha system, there's a pity system, in which you are guaranteed to be rewarded a 5-star item after 90 pulls of not getting a 5-star item. I've asked some of my friends who haven't spent any money in the game. They said that up until the latest content of Genshin Impact, you can get enough of the premium currency to get 5-star items in the game, which is a lot. Genshin Impact is not the only gacha game to do this practice. Granblue Fantasy, for example, has a 3% chance to get an SSR, the highest rarity in the game. They also have numerous content with premium currency as the reward, and their gacha have a similar 300 pull pity system called Spark, in which you can pick the item you want. Arknights also have a similar situation. Their rate of 6-star items are 2%. They also have contents that rewards you with the premium currency plus a repeatable premium currency stage. And their gacha PT system progressively increases the rate of the highest rarity item every time you pull in the gacha. In conclusion, gacha games provide you with the currency by playing the game, and the gacha provides a fail-safe mechanism so the players can't be too unlucky. Furthermore, premium currencies are not the only thing that is acquired from playing the game. Many live service games would introduce events as a way to shake things up in the game if the game itself felt a little stale. Gacha games are no exception. In fact, they thrive on it. Gacha games are no strangers to running events. They provide different kind of gameplay and ultimately rewarding the player for playing it. They will happily give out premium currencies, which are the same as the normal game content, or just straight up characters that you can get from the gacha. Let's take Genshin Impact again for example. Events that occur in the game gives out 4-star characters. The characters that have been given out through events are not limited to Barbara, Xiangling, Fischl, Xingqiu, Sucrose, Diona, Beidou, and many others will appear sometime in the future. They've also announced Alloy to appear as a free 5-star character in Genshin Impact as a collaboration with Horizon Zero Dawn. And of course, other gacha games do this as well. Granblue Fantasy has a side story section that gives you characters after you played them. So with these points come into mind, gacha in the first place is arguably optional, since everything that you need are acquirable from playing the game itself. I've talked to my close friends who have been playing gacha games for years. I haven't really thought about asking the question why they play gacha games. Or rather, why do they even bother with gacha? Some arguments were uttered about the actual gameplay, stuffs like, I like how the game plays, or I like the concept of it. But in addition to that, a unanimous answer is always said for this question. I like the waifu or husbando. Waifu or husbando are terms said in katakana, one of the Japanese language's writing systems, simply meaning wife and husband. The term is typically used when someone likes one character in an anime, in some cases to the point of romanticizing themselves with said character, hence the name waifu or husbando. At least, this is what it means in descriptive form. The bastardizing form of it is just, I like this character, hence he or she is my waifu or husbando. The norm of gacha is to put these characters as the main prize of the gacha, as it double downs as a form of advertisement and as a reason for people to pull on the gacha, because they want these characters. And frankly, that's all the gacha need. Characters in gacha games like Genshin Impact prove to be less different between each other. The matter that makes a difference about one character between other characters is your preference. In gacha games, you choose your own path. From the release of Genshin Impact, I do several pulls on the gacha and got Fischl as my 4-star character. At that point of the game, the community would praise her for being a great character, both as a DPS and as a sub-DPS. On the contrary, I hate this character. I don't like her skills, I don't like her appearance, I generally don't like how she plays out. So to counteract this, I will continue playing with a character which is free from the start of the game, Amber. Amber is arguably very similar to Fischl, as both of them uses a bow, both are female teenagers, and both uses a companion as a skill. Even though Fischl objectively has a better skill set than Amber, I love playing as Amber. I kept thinking why that was the case, but I really can't describe it in words. And it's completely fine. People are entitled to their opinions. With your opinions, you shape how you play these gacha games as you like. With what gacha games provided, you create your own story. I remember the first time I played Granblue Fantasy. Granblue Fantasy has 6 different elements that dictate how you play certain content in the game. The wind element will be stronger against earth element, so it's better to use wind element against earth element. Earth is stronger against water, water is stronger against fire, and fire is stronger against wind, plus 2 additional light and dark element that counteract each other. However, my gacha luck since the beginning of my playthrough of Granblue Fantasy has been leaning towards fire. Back in the day, I would have the best fire team between my close friends who also played the game. But since I only developed my fire team, my other teams are weak, so I played every content of Granblue Fantasy with my fire team, even against water enemies. This shaped me as who I am regarding to Granblue Fantasy, as today I am still dubbed as the Fire Lord in my small community. So what I'm saying is, since gacha is completely optional, you can choose to shape your story, whether you want to spend not even a penny on a gacha game and take everything that you can, or spend some money and gamble just because you ultimately support the developers of the game. The choice is yours. So, what am I saying with these points? I noticed that gacha games like Genshin Impact did not get a good reception since the day of its release. I watched several YouTube videos of criticism on Genshin Impact as well, but most of them are quite shallow in explanation, only to criticize that it is a gacha game. Until I found Never Knows Best video on his criticism on Genshin Impact. I highly recommend this video if you haven't watched it. Essentially, gacha games have been getting bad flags just because there is a gacha. But with the points that I have made, I want you to try these gacha games for yourself. The gacha system is just the surface of the gacha game. It's even written in the name. But it is a shame that people would pass on a genuinely good gaming experience found in these gacha games just because there is a gacha. Genshin Impact is a great action-adventure RPG to play. It's fun and have a great depth in form of the characters, and it is and will keep expanding as time goes. Arknights is also a great example of this. Arknights is a tower defense game similar to nostalgic titles like Plant vs Zombies and Bloons Tower Defense. So what I'm saying is, don't instantly turn away from these games just because you know it's a gacha game. Try the games for yourself first and dictate whether you like the game or not by playing the game, not solely by their description. Just like the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. I'll also implore you to try not just gacha games in general, but other things as well. Things other than gacha games that you think you won't have the courage to do so. Stuff like trying to play Dota 2 for the first time as a League of Legends player. Or other stuffs, like trying to watch a new anime that you think you'll like. Or even real life stuffs, like trying to learn how to draw so you can draw something you like. Or try the new restaurant in town. Or try to confess to your loved ones. Or in my personal case, trying to make this video. I'm sure that I will feel nice when this video lands, and I'm sure you guys will feel nice when you try something out. So yeah, go try out something new.